Hi, welcome to Jovie's home. I post new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Today we are going to be kicking off Jovie's Brushes with Criminal Law week on this channel, which means that today's video is going to be about my experience with criminal law on the side of like the criminal, if you know what I mean, that took place in Holland, in the Netherlands, and what it taught me about Dutch culture. And then on Thursday, I will tell you a story about Sierra Leone where I was accused of human trafficking. So if that sounds good to you, then why don't you come on in, kick off your shoes and stay a while. I'm really glad you're here. Okay, so let me just get right into it. If you are Dutch, if you've lived here for a while, you might remember in January of 2018, there was a crazy windstorm. I mean, really insane. Like, people were flying and things were collapsing, and it was just insane. The storm was really very memorable. Well, during that storm, the gate, the entire fence of our backyard fell over. Like, the storm just like knocked it over. Done, gone. And so our fence was just open. That's fine, no problem. We have, we called a gardener, asked him to come to, to give us a new fence, but we had to wait a little while. There was lots of people who had bigger damage and issues. Normal, fine, okay, no problem. We lived, okay. Our fence is down, okay, no problem. We're working on it. Maybe a week after that happened, the fence fell down, the storm was over. We get a knock on our door, and it is a guy in a uniform, and he is from the handhaving department section. I don't know, they're not really police, but they kind of work in connection with the police. Maybe Dutch people, if you know the difference between like handhaving and police, you can let us know what that is, because I'm not sure. But somebody from the handhaving knocks on our door and he says like, "Hi, I just wanted to make sure that you know that your fence has been knocked over." And we said, "Yeah, thank you." Thank you. Yes, we've been informed. I mean, we see it. We're just waiting for the gardener to come and fix our fence. Okay. He went away. Didn't see him again. About a week or 10 days after that, we get another knock on the door, and this time I open it, and it is a police officer. I mean, like, real police officer, and the whole thing, with the motorbike parked directly in front of our door, like a gun in his holster, I guess, like maybe it was a taser, I don't know, it looked scary. And he said that they were suspicious. There was suspicion that there was a marijuana plantation in my house. Really? What would make somebody think that I have a marijuana plantation? So we asked. My husband was home. It just happened that we were home that day, both of us. And so we said, what's going on? And he said, "No, one of your neighbors reported you for suspicious activity." I'm like, suspicious activity? I mean, we've lived in this house for 6 years. We know all of our neighbors. Like, I don't know who on earth could have reported us, and for what? And he said, no, one of your neighbors reported you because you keep the curtains of your ground floor, you just keep them closed all the time. Nobody can see into your house. And I thought, yeah, well, I just had a baby. I'm like with my boobs out, like all day long, like trying to nurse her on the sofa. They spit up on you, you're shirtless. Like, of course my my curtains are closed. I don't want to be flashing that to the neighborhood. It's not like, woo. And especially because there was not that much room between our window and the street. So people were walking by with their dogs and like doing stuff. It was just, privacy. I'm all about the privacy. But apparently in the Netherlands, if you have windows on the ground floor, like during the day, they should be open, and during the evening, you can close them. And if you don't open them, the curtains or the blinds or whatever during the day, that is considered suspicious. So this cop tells us that we are under suspicion for having a marijuana plantation, because that's basically the first sign of somebody being a marijuana farmer here, is that they're very secretive in their homes. So, well, we kind of laughed and said, no, that's definitely not our situation, but okay. And then he said he would just like to come into the house if he's allowed and just visually inspect every floor, just to make sure that there's nothing suspicious going on. Okay, so maybe, maybe we had like the right to say no, but something like this, it just struck us as so ridiculous. Like, it was just so crazy to be told that like because our curtains were closed that we could be marijuana like plantation owners. Like, that was just so funny. And don't get me wrong, like, I have nothing against marijuana. I'm not like judging on that, but I just find it so funny to think that the connection between closed curtains and marijuana, like that's just yeah, that to me is funny. But anyway, long story short, he came, we told him, no, come on in, no problem. We let him see all the, the 3 levels of our home, and he saw, of course, no like baby rooms and stuff. And he was very friendly and we were friendly and everything was fine. But yeah, that's how we learned about the Dutch culture of windows, curtains closed and open. And I actually, even that day or the next day, I posted about it in one of my Facebook groups, and I asked the moms if anyone had heard of something like that before. And actually, it is a common thing that for foreigners who are used to having maybe a bit more privacy, or want a bit more privacy than the Netherlands culturally affords you, there have been people who've gotten in trouble or had visits from the police for suspicious activity, for not keeping their curtains open, or for, being private. So this is actually like a real thing that happens. I don't know if they're always accused of being pot farmers. Maybe that was just us, but there are these issues that can happen. So now I know, and now during the day, I keep the curtains open, and then during the evening we close them. So yeah, but that's kind of my story. That was the only time that we got in trouble with the law, or had a visit from the cops. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Like, what is your reaction to hearing about something like that? Like, do you think it's suspicious? Oh, and then just to tie it all back, because I am certain that it was none of our neighbors that reported us, because all of our neighbors knew us. They all, there was no issue with our neighbors. I'm sure that it was that guy from the handhaving who was new, who didn't know us, who then came to tell us about our fence being knocked down. I'm sure that it was him who saw our closed curtains, and, he must have raised some concern with the police about our suspicious activities. But yeah, so that's the story. It's pretty wild that happened, but funny. I mean, funny, I have really nothing to hide. My husband and I, we live our life like within the realm of the law and like doing things legally, and so it's not an issue. But you should know your rights, and if you don't want to let a police officer in without a search warrant, or without papers that they need to have, that is totally your right. Like, we could have said no to him coming in that moment. We didn't care, it was fine. But that doesn't mean that you should do the same if you have reason not to, or you don't want to, or your privacy, that's up to you. But that's it. So yeah, that's how we learned about Dutch openness and having open window policy. So what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Have you had any weird experiences like that, where you've maybe been told that you're doing something suspicious that to you is like not suspicious at all? Like, that is just like the most normal thing. Like, that is like a culture shock that you can experience here, that I had to learn the long way, because it's just like blew my mind that just having your curtains closed is suspicious. So anyway, you guys, that's my story. Thank you so much for coming over. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And then come back on Thursday for the story about Sierra Leone. That's going to be a bit longer, I'm sure, because it's a more involved story. It's not as simple and straightforward as this one. But yeah, I hope you come back for more of like Jovie's criminal behavior. And yeah, so there you go. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for coming over. Thanks for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and let me know in the comments what you thought, and let me know if you've had weird stuff happen to you. I love this kind of stuff, so let me know, and I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Bye.